Retribution Falls is an inventive, high-flying adventure full of secrets, sky pirates, and suspense, complete with cocky heroes and daring escapes. Fans of Joss Whedon's Firefly will love it. That was written by Christopher Golden, who was the co-author of The Secret Journeys of Jack London, which I haven't read, but I liked his review, so I decided to read it aloud first. There's one other review in the in the beginning of this book, which I'd like to share with you because I find it hilarious. New York Times best-selling author Charlaine Harris wrote, "This is a wonderful book." That's it. That's all she wrote. Like, what? Did you just look at the cover? This is a great cover. This looks really interesting. I bet this is a wonderful book. That's what I'm going to write. She was too busy to read the actual books. She was just like, whatever, that sounds good. So anyway, that aside, I'd like to talk to you about this book, which is Retribution Falls by Chris Wooding. That is his name, right? Okay, sorry. Retribution Falls by Chris Wooding, and it's quite good. It's one of the books that my dad suggested for me. He tends to always suggest these really strange, out-of-the-blue books to me, and I get it, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot, and then I read it and I end up loving it, so I don't know why I keep doubting him. This book is about a crew of sky pirates on a ship called the Ketty J, and it focuses a little bit more on the captain than the other crew members, but it really does. You get, the stories of all of the crew members, perspectives of all of the crew members, and so it's kind of an ensemble cast, if you will. What I found most interesting about it is that it's almost like you start in the middle of everybody's story. All of this stuff happened before the point in which the book starts. Each character that there is has something that happened before the book started, and you don't know what it is because they're on this crew, and there's just this unspoken rule on the ship that you don't ask about anybody's past, you don't talk about your own past, because you don't want to know what they're running away from, and you don't want them to know about your secret. And so it's this interesting dynamic between the main characters in which everybody's got a secret. The only reason that they're together on this ship is because they're just misfits, and this is the only place that they can go. So this crew, the Ketty J, they get this opportunity to do a smuggling job, and it's like the easiest thing in the world. The ship is so incredibly vulnerable, and there's so much money on the ship, and they can't pass up the offer. And so they go and they do this job, but then everything goes wrong, as you kind of expect it to. And it's kind of, it's just this snowball effect of things that just keep getting worse for this crew, and then all of a sudden they're on wanted lists, and everybody's hunting for them, and it's a very interesting story in which this crew that is just alienated, and just every crew member is just polarized from the other crew members, and nobody really gets along, and nobody really knows anything about each other, and then they become this really strong crew by the end of the book, and this captain who is this messed up individual, and at the beginning of the book you're just like, what are you? I hate this character. And then by the end of the book he kind of grows up a little bit, and he actually becomes a captain in his own right, and he becomes a part of the crew too. It's a very interesting story because everybody really develops, and you can really see how every character changes, and that to me is one of the greatest things that can happen in a book, is to really be able to see all of that character development in amongst an exciting plot. And it really is an exciting plot. It's all of this political intrigue and all of this adventure and guns and cannons and more sky ships and demons and fun stuff. It's fun stuff. It's a really, really exciting book, and I think that you should read it, which was the whole purpose of this video. So yep, that was my first official book review, and I hope that I got you interested. I hope that anybody watched this and kind of thought, you know what, that sounds like a really cool book. It's really worth reading, and it doesn't have the popularity that I think it actually deserves. So yep, that's all. Happy reading.